Hello everyone, welcome to our Saturday Learning Forward show. As we head to our 100 shows, we are getting closer to the heart of the matter. We set out 100 weeks back to find out why people are passionate about education. And as we come to one of our last shows, we have a very wonderful person today. A man who is a people's manager. He has given his life to schools and schooling. He is today a director of a school, author of several articles and books, a coach, a mentor, a people's person, Presidents of India Award winner for education as a service. He believes in interfaith dialogue. He participates in global peace conventions, an SDG champion, climate change sensitive person. He's on the governing body of National Council of Teacher Education, which matters most today in the world of new education policy and the changing world. His mission is to help learned students become better citizens. Equity and justice is very close to his heart. So here we are, Dr. Ashok Pandey. We are really loving it today because we have you with us on a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us, sir.
I started, my own education in a railway-sponsored school, a fantastic school. Even the uniform was supplied by the railways, excellent campus, table and chair. And then the family circumstances turned to 360 degrees, I would say, that we were forced to go to our village. And from a sprawling campus of that school, I was put in a 2-room school of that village primary school. And then I knew what education is all about. So all the village children will walk to the school, squat on the floor, and 2-room school, 5 classes and 2 teachers, right? And then only I realized the difference between the 2 kinds of education. And, today we talk about this diversity, inclusion, right to education, but I think I experienced it myself. There was absolutely no class distinction. There was absolutely no denial of good or bad education to all the village children. And the second thing which was very, very important is the dedication of that single teacher who was teaching us, okay? And he will teach us all the subjects. He will bring a lot of books in his bag, and we used to call it a bag library. So we were exposed to bag library to begin with, So that is how the whole thing began. And then I moved to a middle school where my teacher was a national awardee. Can you believe it, Sandeep? In the late 60s, I'm talking about a village teacher receiving the National President's Award. And that image of him mounting on the elephant, going to the railway station to come to Delhi to receive the award, I think that image stuck with me. And when I became a teacher, and perhaps the seeds were sown then, and then I decided that I will be a teacher, and what will be my role as a teacher, and how I'm going to be as good a teacher as my teachers were to me, and if I can live up to those expectations of teachers in the society. That is my passion.
Please stay with us. We will be back after a quick commercial break. We believe each person in a school contributes to the culture of your school. School culture is built on the actions and interactions of the people. You make your school stronger by adding value to others and by making others feel valued. We at Learning Forward India help you build learning communities, connect with your stakeholders, and have happy teachers build your My Good School. Do connect with us for path-making programs like Schools Can Change, the Happy Teachers Learning Program, and above all, the Better Learning Outcomes My Good School program. Happy learning. Have a great day. Dr. Pandey, the first thing in life when you talk of education is being humble, or humility, if I may say it in a different way. Then this is where I realized that from your story, you mentioned the first thing we need is being humble. So my first question to you, today in this consumerist age, when you're already talking of climate change and when you're talking about the change the world in its quest for GDP growth has brought about, where do you think is the place of being humble is in today's world?
Very nice question. Let me tell you, guru, and you add one more R or Ra to it in Hindi, it becomes guru, right? So let us all be gurus without guru. Okay, so if we can, somehow embody it, and after all, Sandeep, what is the purpose of education? What have we learned right from our childhood? Vidya dadati vinayam. Okay, so the whole purpose of education is humility. And if that is not part of our core curriculum of education, I think it can't be more unjustified than this. So Vidya dadati vinayam. And let me tell you, whether it is GDP obsession or it is obsession for accumulating wealth or amassing whatever you can think of, at the end of it, you talk about the successful people. And what do they talk about? All of them talk about humility. All of them talk about the humility that has played role in their lives. And all of them have talked about the absence of humility, the kind of misery it brings in one's life. So this is one aspect of humility. What is the other aspect of humility? The other aspect of humility is that you don't, attribute anything to you. And that is again a lesson from our scriptures. That if we say that we did it and we are capable of doing it, and if I was not there, it would not have been possible, I think that is as false as it could be. So therefore, detaching yourself from whatever you are accomplishing and attributing your education to translate it into humility and to do something for the others and make some kind of transformation in them, I think that is the beginning of education. And that is the beginning of that real transformation that we all aiming at. That is how I look at education and humility.
So how do you practice this in reality, where you make the teacher, the person, the most important person in the learning game?
So thank you very much. I think what you have said has been at least one thing that I can claim, that has been a kind of the game plan, that all educational leaders have practiced. They may not have said so, but unless you build a team around it, you invest in the team, treat them as assets for your organization and for the country and for the society, you are not going to achieve anything. And in educational institutions, that team is team of teachers. So I borrow it directly from our scholar president, Dr. Radhakrishnan, and he said two things, and I never forget it ever since I learned it first in my B.Ed classes, that teachers are the assets of the country. Invest in them, respect them, give them the kind of respect that they deserve, look after them. And once you have done it, then only you can make them accountable to the society or to the job that you have entrusted. I think everybody should treat it as a mantra. So investing in teachers, valuing them, creating an enabling environment for them to flourish, I think even if you take it as a selfish motive, if we do this, then only they will allow children to flourish. Let me tell you very frankly, right? If they think that they are growing, if they think that they are being valued, if they think that importance is attached to them, they are part of the decision-making process, I think all these practices, they will transfer to the children. And therefore, from the leadership to the teacher, to the children, to the families, to the community, you unleash a chain of valuing each other, allowing everybody to flourish, coming together, thinking of each other, and co-creating an environment in which the teaching learning becomes an enjoyable process. So that is what is my mantra. That is what I practiced. And that is what I always evaluate myself at. I ask this direct question to my teachers. Please tell me very frankly, if I did anything or said anything to you which gave you the impression that I have not valued you. And if anybody ever said it, I corrected myself, I apologized, and then I made corrections.
Dr. Pandey, I love this idea of co-create. And even more, in the entire last interview session, you have been so humble and warm from your heart that one can actually feel the trust. And I like your idea of making the environment the enabler. Not resources, but environment the enabler.
Environment.
This is a very important thing which you have brought about. Because when you make environment the enabler, accountability automatically happens.
Absolutely.
And last but not the least, you are calling teachers as assets, which is the most important element. Because this is the asset which gives you the ROI and nothing else.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So, I mean, that's the asset. So, when we talk of the good old Guru Shishya Parampara, that's where teacher had the supreme position.
Oh, yes.
So, teacher could be in your mother, teacher could be in your peer, teacher could be anyone around you. You can learn from nature, you can learn from weather, you can learn, if you get an example today, if we learn from the calamity, that itself is a teacher. So, which means environment is it's all about environment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sandeep, if you allow me, I did one teacher training program and in which we did one energizer. And the question was, please thank anybody and anything which you think has helped you or you have learned something from. And you'll be surprised to know one of my teachers said that I learned from the chair. And then we asked, what did you learn from the chair? And she said, the chair is one thing which does not discriminate. Anybody can come and sit on that. You see? I mean, so what you're saying is, this is the different perspective to look at things. And if you're open-minded, you will find learning, opportunities anywhere and everywhere. And that is what an institution is meant for.
Thank you for being an institution builder. Thank you with the deep passion and faith you take everything ahead. We are deeply honored to have you with us. Thank you so much, sir, yet again.